are flying leaflets to, South Korean NGOs are flying leaflets to North Korea, and this is an issue. This has been an issue for a long time, but this time North Korea has always been against this propaganda, but this time they actually got really mad and they shot gunfire at us. And South Korea also counterattacked them. And because of this incident, South Korean people who were against this propaganda are raising their voices to make law that can ban these leaflets. And I came up with this idea because we were talking about NGOs, and during class we only discussed about NGOs that were helpful in helping out North Korea, and that are making good relationships with North Korea. But this NGO that I'm talking about has a really bad relationship with North Korea, and they're throwing things to North Korea that North Korea doesn't want. And so I thought it was a special case that we can talk about.
Okay, that's fine. And then you saw my critique, right? Okay. And then my critique is that, like, good discussion, references, and links to class reading, but also, like, at least maybe like in a small paragraph at the end, you always want to address the counter argument, right? So what is the strongest argument for leaflets? What do they claim? They claim that if you do leaflets, it's good because why? What's going to happen?
They think that they can educate the North Korean people by implementing. I don't know a different word for that, but
한국어는 뭐지?
아니 그런 게 아니라 약간 주입이 아니라 약간
주입?
suggest.
Okay, suggest.
Maybe suggest human rights in North Korea, but that's the counter argument for that. But
that's fine. So when you write a paper, you have to say, like, I argue A, B, and C. Okay, and then the people who the other side say this. 그래도 I argue for this. Okay, so one suggestion is that the sponsors of the leaflets claim that the leaflets were, like you said, educate the North Korean people, or maybe help them revolution against the government. Okay, but I argue you have to address that. Okay, how would you address the leaflet sponsors when they made this argument, right? 어떻게 대답할 수 있어? 어떻게 reply? Yes, rebut.
I can rebut that argument by saying that the contents in the leaflets has lots of rumors, and they're not fact-based. If it's fact-based, and if the content is not too aggressive, I think that it can succeed in North Korea. But these NGOs doesn't even have a relationship with North Korea, and they're just throwing things at North Korea. And so I think it's natural for North Korea to be shocked by these leaflets. And so I think relationship first, and then content. And content itself has to be less aggressive.
Okay. Factual or less aggressive? Those are two separate things, right?
Both.
Okay. So Miss Lee's making a lot of critiques. She's saying that, well, the leaflets some of them are like not factual. They're false. They're like rumors. Some of them, and they're also very like anti-North Korean, like very aggressive anti-North Korean government. And three is that we don't have any like relations of trust. Okay, so these North Korean people are receiving the leaflets, and they're saying all these bad things about about our leader. Yeah, and so you're saying that because of those things it doesn't work. Okay, and so if you want to make it work, then you have to provide more truthful information, be less aggressive, and maybe build relationship with the people. Okay, so that's how you can address a counter argument. Sometimes I see your essay, and you're just like following my instruction. Oh, Professor E said, mention a counter argument. So you just mention this counter argument, and you don't say anything about it. Okay, it's just like lonely. I don't like lonely people or sentences. Okay, I like interaction. Okay, so I say this, they say that. This is what I think about both. Okay, okay. Then you can be a strong essay writer. That sounds good. Okay. Everybody say, thank you, Miss Lee. Thank you. Any questions on this for Miss Lee? Okay. I was actually wondering, how many people support the leaflets? aren't you 대구 person? No? Okay. 경상도? Okay. Who is against the leaflet? Okay. Who is like, I don't care, or I don't know? And then, for those who are against the leaflet, are you against the leaflet because you don't think it's a good way to engage North Korea, or are you against the leaflet because you just don't want to have any interaction with North Korea? Do you understand? So for those who are against the leaflet, do you want to change North Korea, or do you just do not want to have any 관계, any relationship with North Korea? Okay. Who raised their hands? Okay, so you want to change North Korea, right? Okay. Okay. So what's your name? Okay, so Miss Cho Se-hye is saying that. Tell me what you said.
Those people who send leaflets think they can change North Korea, like they can send freedom and democracy and insult Kim Jong-un, but it only causes bad effect on North Korea because they cause dangers and tension around the border.
That's true.
Mm.
But you know, like many Koreans, they don't support the leaflets, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they don't support them because they think like you know, we should change North Korea in a better way? Or do you think that like a lot of South Koreans, they just don't care? They just don't wanna, they just like, you know, they're just like, 뭐지? 너무 like 귀찮아. Okay? You know, too much bother.
I cannot be sure because I don't know every people in South Korea.
But like just people you know.
Yeah, but I think most people agree with me because people around like 포천, 동독천, the border area are facing really threats,
Okay.
and like they heard gunshots, and the North Korea is always announcing that they can attack anytime. So for the sake of people around the area, South Koreans don't want any war or any small attacks.
Right. But is that for? But I think I was saying that for their own self-interest or for the North Korean interest.
I think for the South Korean, the more
Right,
because for the
Korean.
sake of people.
Right. Okay. So I'm not saying that I support the leaflets, but then I think one way they might be helpful is that I think these days a lot of South Korean people, especially young people, they just don't think about North Korea. You know, it's kind of like alien country. So like, you know, they do what they they do what they want. We'll just do what we want. And so many of those people who they don't really think about North Korea, they don't like the leaflets because it causes problems, it causes conflicts. Okay? But then a lot of those people who do the leaflets, they do it because, you know, they do care. And they want the South Korean people to also care. Okay? So I think that's, you know, I'm just playing the devil's advocate, right? But I think that's an important argument that, in a way, the leaflet people are raising like public awareness. Okay. And right now I think they're a very small minority in South Korea. I think most Koreans, they just don't want to bother. Right? They just want like, you know, they just want the status quo. Do you see? They don't want to rock the boat. Okay. So, anyway, so that's something you might want to consider too. Okay. Another paper was from Mr. Chung Hoyer. Come on up. This class is right. Okay. Okay. Now, educate us. What's your paper about?
My paper is about the North Korea NGOs who works in North Korea. I argue that the NGOs ad are not really effective to North Korea's people who are really poor or, not in Pyongyang. So I think that the place where the NGO visits are very selective by the North Korean ministry. So for NGOs, they cannot fully search for the poor people or that's not suitable for the investigation, I think. And the second reason, the use of the good is obscure, I think, because under the restricted rules, the NGOs cannot use their own rules or something like that. So I think if they want to help North Korea, they have to follow the North Korea's rules. So I think that the rules are very restrictive. So that's not good for transparency. And the last one is just like some kind of emotional reason. But I think that many NGOs helps with the humanitarianism, but North Korea is ungrateful to any NGOs. So this this kind of shovel sand onto the tide. So this we are wasting time or wasting the food or anything stuff.
Okay. Did everyone understand Mr. Chung's claim that NGOs are not really effective because we have this lack of transparency, and his evidence comes from who? From this photography, right?
Yeah, if we link to this,
Sure.
you can show the
Picture?
Yeah,
Okay, let's take a look.
the one you want to show was this is too big. The bottom line is what he heard, what he
Okay.
recorded, and then what I was this was the WFP, and then North Korea saying foreign aid is just a word
Or
that yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
they are not thinking. They're just you can see the North Korea says just foreign aid is a word that, so they don't think that they're just for help.
Right, so they don't feel grateful.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I see a lot of interesting pictures.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can see
so
through.
let's go down. Let's go back to the picture later. It's basically said foreign aid is a war debt, pit. Okay, that this because they war the Korean War, so this is like reparations. Okay. Anyway, so he took a lot of nice pictures, like.
I can
so you can
explain something of this picture is mostly banned, but he was took the photo secretly, so he was banned forever.
Okay.
Because and he could almost rescue some pictures. This is you can see through this, and
Yeah, these are very powerful pictures. So can you read the caption?
yeah, the North Korea army is said to be one of the most important in the world. But if you travel there, you will often see soldiers doing manual tasks.
Right,
Menial tasks.
Can you do the next one?
Yeah.
Menial.
Because he took these pictures from the North Korea.
Right, what operation? Menial? Okay, menial is 3D. Right, 3D. Right, okay. Yeah.
And this picture, what he said was, the officials hate.
Thanks for asking questions. We love you. Okay. All right, go on. Officials.
The officials hate it when you take this kind of picture. Even when I explain that poverty exists everywhere, they still forbade me from taking them. So what you heard from the other NGOs, I'm just counter-arguing that these photos can show them the poverty.
Right, they don't have running water. There is the water.
And this is child labor. so they're working the farm. And this is the he looks really hungry. You know, you can see through the photo, and then the North Korea officials forbid the photographer to not want to take these pictures from. So the means malnutrition is not common among the children. You mean?
Right, it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
Because they were born during the 90s. So, anyways, so these photos, so the previous picture is saying not supposed to take pictures when they're not well dressed.
Yeah.
So these kids are collecting maize, grain, just like corn. Okay. Right, next. A woman standing in the middle of a crowd of soldiers. Oh, so you're not supposed to take pictures of army.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said most of the pictures, including armies, there was almost mostly forbidden.
Picture forbidden.
Yeah.
And yeah, another army picture. Oh, can you go back? So you're saying you see this all the time. They don't have enough fuel. Go on.
This is 판문점 I think.
Right, someone EMC.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Soldiers relaxing. Ooh, documentarian. Can you go back? So you can take a picture of the photo. You can take a picture of the animals, but not the soldiers. Okay? Because they're like 99% of the crowd. Alright. Soldiers resting. Man bathing in the river. Using an oar. He's using an old tire for a boat. When you go fishing.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, most of. This was really funny. The official do not want to take this photo because the other if foreign people saw this picture, they think that the man is dead, but he's just alive. Yeah.
He thought he was dead.
He's gathering the grass to eat them.
Right.
So
Eating grass.
yeah,
Okay.
they eating the wood.
Yeah. Well, during the famine, they ate grass and corn. I don't
Yeah,
think
part.
they do it. I don't think they do it anymore, but
Yeah.
unless it's like really poor.
This is the public project. They, this is really really dangerous picture because if you smile under the the kins,
Right, you're not supposed to do it by the ears.
yeah, because
Next to
it means this scar. I don't know, but some picture under the line. The photographer said, I don't know where they are going or this.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Now let's discuss your essay.
Yeah.
Okay. You saw my comments, right?
Yeah.
And I said, again, good discussion, good pictures, okay, good references. But to make a stronger essay, I say this every week, right? You need links to class readings, or in this case, speakers, and address the counter argument, okay? Because the strongest counter argument might come from Gabe. Remember what Gabe said?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did he say?
He can verify the F,
Right.
where to go.
Right, he said that media and NGOs are very different. Media is very restricted, but NGOs have more freedom of movement, okay? And also his NGO can control where the aid goes, okay? And all the NGOs have a monitor, have like a government party monitor with them. But if you build a good relationship, you know what a monitor is, right? 안내, okay? Government 안내, okay? But as long as you build a good relationship with a government monitor, then you can, basically, and you can have a lot of latitude in terms of, doing different projects.
So that's why I wrote about the English NGO for counter argument.
I understand, but I'm just saying you need to address both claims.
Okay.
That way you can synthesize, okay? And then I also want you to be kind of, critical, okay? Because in a way, like, like, you know what the photographer did? He took pictures of real people, and then he published it in an international newspaper. Is that a very ethical thing to do? No, because like he said, like what Emily said, you're actually putting the people in danger. Do you understand? And in a way, like the gay, the NGO people, they're acting even more ethically, because even here, he never mentioned anything. Okay? He never mentioned anything that can endanger the people. He only showed things which were supported by the higher. Because his point is that we're here to help the people. Okay? We're here to build trust. We don't want to get anybody in trouble. Okay? And so things like this, like taking these photographs and showing how bad North Korea is, one, you're putting the people in danger, and also you're kind of undermining trust. And so it's going to be, this is the reason why a lot of, the government doesn't trust a lot of foreigners. Okay? So anyway, so you have to address the counter argument, which is that, North Korea is complex, like they're different actors, and they're treated differently, and also they have different strategies. And this is like the North Korea's bad strategy, right? Think about, so compare that strategy, let's criticize North Korea versus, let's engage North Korea. And then you can discuss the pros and cons. Do you see? Yeah. Because you discuss the cons of the let's engage North Korea, that maybe the government will maybe take away some of the aid, give it to the army. Okay? But then you can also critique, let's criticize North Korea's strategy, such as like these photographs. So I'm just saying that you can stop. So if you have a more balanced discussion, then that's a stronger essay. Do you understand?
Yeah, whatever position I have, I just write both of the opinions, the balance, and then choose the one.
Just discuss both. I'm not saying you have to choose, but I'm just saying like maybe just a good essay shows that there's at least two strong claims, and then you just discuss it. Okay? Like the earlier paper, right? I think leaflets are a bad idea. Okay? For these reasons, the people who support the leaflet say this is the only way to educate the North. Okay? But I argue that maybe there's an alternative way to educate the North, such as through these more engagement NGOs. Do you understand? So by doing that, you're actually addressing the counter argument. Okay, the other side. You need to address the other side. You need to show them respect. Okay.
Okay.
And same thing here. Don't just say like, oh, look at this photographer and all the bad things that North Korean government is doing. Critique what he's doing. Okay. Critique his ethics. You can critique his strategy. Okay. So it shows that I don't want you to like. I don't want you to just repeat what the professor is saying or what this photographer is saying. I want you to tell me, like, is this claim, just discuss this claim, what it's saying. Okay? Okay. And also I had a fun question. Like, if you're a smart North Korean student, would you rather attend Kim Il-sung University or PUST? You seem like a smart guy.
Thank you.
Okay. So, because we actually had this discussion at wedding. Okay. So imagine you're a smart guy from high school, right? And 옛날에는 all the smart kids, you went to where? What university?
Seoul National.
No, you're in Bukhan.
Kim Il-sung.
Right, Kim Il-sung University, right? Because if you go to Kim Il-sung, you can build a lot of what? Money and also a lot of
powerful authority.
IMMAC, right?
Yeah.
But now there's this new university called PUST, okay, where you can learn, science and technology and English, okay? And so, well, if I go to Kim Il-sung, I can get IMMAC, but what can I gain if I go to PUST?
Both, anything, because I think that if the person who attending either university, it means, I think, for my opinion, I think that it means that you are not poor. Your family is above the high position
right,
of the North Korea. So
what would you 선택? Would you choose to go to Kim Il-sung, the top university in North Korea, or would you go to PUST, the first private foreign university?
as a North Korean?
Yeah, as a smart kid from North Korea.
Former.
Kim Il-sung?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe
Because
if you
love Kim Il-sung?
no, if I'm North Korean and if I was enlightened as you are my
I know. But if you're a smart North Korean kid, why would you want to go to Kim Il-sung University?
I
Top university in North Korea.
I can be top on the North Korea.
Yeah. So a lot of my students, the way they were saying, if I were a North Korean, I'd go to Kim Il-sung for the MMAC. Okay? Because all the top leaders in North Korea, all the top government officials are, they graduated from Kim Il-sung. That's like so national here, right? So obviously I should go to Kim Il-sung. Okay?
Yeah.
But is there anybody, imagine your students, who are, instead of going to, okay, maybe we can do a survey. Imagine you're all North Korean kids, okay? And you can choose between Kim Il-sung and Puss. Okay? Who says Kim Il-sung? Okay. Let's take their picture. Who says Puss? Okay. Now, why Kim Il-sung? Who said Kim Il-sung? You said Kim Il-sung, right? Why? Okay, so you're saying Puss doesn't have the longest grade like Kim Il-sung? Go on.
So I think I live in North Korea, I cannot be sure that the university will be good and the future of the university will
Right.
be like what the university's future will be.
Right, because Puss is a big experiment.
Yeah.
Kim Il-sung's been there for like over 50 years. Okay, it's an old institution. Whereas, Puss is like this new thing. Okay? Alright. For those who said Puss, why? Who said Puss? Nobody say Puss? You're all persuaded? Who said Puss? Okay, why do you say Puss?
I think it depends of which kind of skill you want to develop. For example, if you want to go in the top of the administration to have some relation, you can go to Kim Il-sung University. But for example, if you, I don't know, want to learn English, have some, I don't know, how can I say that? Maybe if you want, it depends of. It's not the same objective, I think. It's like in Post, it's like if you want to develop maybe not relation with the other country, but if you want to yeah, exactly, yeah. For example, if you learn English, it's not to stay it's not to only for North Korea. If you learn English, if to have some relation with the other country, to maybe not good relation, we don't know, but maybe just it can be useful. It can be useful for, you can have a good position if you speak English too, I think, because you can in technology or some stuff like that. So maybe you can have some good job too and some good opportunity if you have some specific knowledge you didn't know.
Right. So Guillaume is saying that, well, if I go to Puss, then I can learn English, get this global education, right? And we saw the video on Tuesday, right? Did the students seem pretty enthusiastic to be there? Yeah, they seem really enthusiastic, right? It's not like here where I'm here at Hanyang because I got rejected from Yonsei, Don't be like that. Be like the students at Puss. I got rejected from Kim Il-sung, but Puss is so much better. Like Hanyang, right? So much better than Yonsei. Anyway. In a way, I think if you're mainly interested in IMMEC, right, social networking, probably Kim Il-sung. But in terms of 교육, I think Puss offers this really rare opportunity because you're actually learning science and technology and English, right? And so for these students, they think it's once in a lifetime opportunity to take all these classes with people who speak real English, not fake English, right? Okay, you know that experience. And also I think if I was a smart kid in North Korea, I would actually be very careful about IMMEC because, the wrong kind of IMMEC. Imagine you had a lot of IMMEC with Kim Jong-un's uncle, okay? Well, He was the number 2 guy in Korea, right? What would happen to you if you were like buddies with Uncle Kim? You'd probably be what?
Dead.
Yes, you might be probably executed.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like Korean drama. Whenever you get a new king, like what does a new king do to the old king's family? Yeah, they're all like executed, right? Yeah, did you hear that story? Because my kids is reading like ancient Korean drama in comic books, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and so like they were reading about, like they had Goryeo dynasty, and then it became Yi dynasty. Yeah, Joseon, right?
Yeah.
And what did the Joseon guy do? My ancestor, he basically, killed all the Goryeo dynasty people. Do you see? And so this is actually very common in Korean history. So you got the new guy, so the number 2 guy, all dead. Okay? And so I think if I went to Kim Il-sung, I would actually, there's a good chance I might have inmate with the wrong people. But if I went to PUS, then instead of inmate, I'm building what? 교육, right? Education. And then, did I tell you this? Like there were a couple of students from PUS, they got accepted to like Cambridge, the top universities in Europe. Okay? This was in the South Korean newspapers too. It was the first North Korean student to have the science and English skills to go to the top universities with a full scholarship. Okay, and so he went to like Cambridge, and then he came back. He didn't defect because like PUS students, they're very loyal, right? Anyway, so I'm thinking like, if I'm like buddies with Kim Jong-taek, maybe I'll die. But if I'm the first North Korean student to get a master's from Cambridge, what's gonna happen to me? Are they gonna execute me?
You might be because your local plan is failed. You are.
Okay. Well. Okay.
That's my opinion. But on your side, you can learn the developed.
Right. But the point is that those 2 guys who went to Cambridge and other they're now considered the best scientists in North Korea. Okay? And if you're the best scientist in North Korea, you'll probably not be executed because you're really, really valuable resource. You're like a global celebrity. Okay? So, yeah. Can you come here? The question is, how can they leave North Korea? Actually, you can.
By plane.
Yeah, by Good answer. Well, because like the leader Kim Jong-un, he was actually educated in Switzerland. Has anyone been to Switzerland? Yeah, nice place. Yeah, there's there are many Swiss boarding schools. Right, but it's how they interpret the information. And also, don't forget like the students from PUS who went to like Cambridge. I don't know, but.
You've been telling that everything about that country is great, and probably they're pretty rich, they're pretty healthy because they can go to Cambridge. They probably have a pretty good time in North Korea. Yeah, but they still go to university. They're probably not from the countryside being poor people. No, but yes, wait for a minute. I'll finish the argument. And then they probably have a pretty good time in Korea, in North Korea. They're going to a good university. Oh, they're being sent off to Cambridge, a good university. And I mean, they probably believe that North Korea is a pretty good country because they've been told that for probably 20 years. And if you are in London in Cambridge for one semester, that's not necessarily means you thinking like, oh, I love democracy and I love this. No, they probably still love North Korea. It's nothing strange. That doesn't have to happen. Like what? Yeah, but maybe they don't care.
I think she doesn't see the pictures of the country. There's
Right.
everything in English, like.
Okay. Science. come up front and talk. So okay, it's fun. We can direct you. Okay, all right. Then I'd be like Oprah Winfrey, but okay. Go Chicago. No, but I want to ask you a question because I guess you have to look at it from like a North Korean student perspective, right? Because let's say you're a super smart North Korean kid, you work super hard at PUS, you're the top of the class, okay? So you have the skills, you're the first person at PUS University to get a full scholarship to Cambridge, let's say for 2 or 3 years, okay? Now,
What I'm just
no. If you're that North Korean student, what are the pros and cons of staying and defecting versus coming back? Okay. So, because
Yeah, I see that there are pros and cons, but that still makes you evil if you recognize some things. I'm saying, no, because one thing, no, and there's one thing, but there's one thing that you just can't deny. You might be like this when you first, and when you leave your country, but this will happen. If it's like this, I don't know, but it's gonna broaden. It's gonna broaden.
No, just think about the strongest counter argument, which is
If you don't know something, but then you know something, and you ignore it, you choose to ignore it because you're doing fine in life, then that kind of makes you a little bit evil.
Your home country being killed,
Right.
I'm dying, you still and maybe going to see people.
No, I left my home country because I don't like it there, and I think things are wrong there, and I'm not going back. Because it did this.
I see people in Sweden getting killed. Does that make me evil for not wanting to go rescue them all? I mean, there are people in my country that, I'm involved in politics stuff, that not involved in politics, that don't care about what's going on and a person getting killed on the street. It's not like that happens. And they're not evil people.
Well, I don't know. I think like okay, maybe you can't see it totally black and white, but you're definitely more on the grey dark side. Like, yeah.
Anyway, as a teacher, I'm asking all students, think about what is the strongest counter argument. What would be a valid reason for So let's say there's this PUS student named Joe Kim, right? Mr. Kim, okay? So what is the strongest, you be second. So what is the strongest argument for Mr. Kim to go back? Even if he's a good person. Let's say going to Cambridge has really broadened his view. He learned about democracy and freedom. But is there still a strong reason?
He's going to have a good life himself. For himself.
An unselfish reason.
No.
No, just think of the strongest counter argument, okay? Not a strong enough.
Make life better for the people in your country.
Right, because who does he know back home? He has what?
He's got influence and he can maybe change something. No, he can't.
Counter argument.
Oh, okay.
The best counter argument is the strongest argument for him to go back. The strongest moral argument or the strongest empirical argument. So the strongest moral argument to go back is not because you're selfish, that's not a good moral argument, right? The strongest argument to go back might be what? Because you have family and friends and people that you care and trust, and you think that by going back I can make what? I can make the society, I can change the society, make it better. Do you see? So I'm just saying, you don't have to agree. You just have to think about what is the strongest counter argument and then address it. That's why I want to say in all your essays. If I abandon North Korea and defect to England, if I'm a good person, I think that maybe that's not a good idea because what would happen if I defect and what might happen if I defect and not go back to North Korea? That means what?
If you defect to not go back to North Korea, you can't change the situation at all.
Right, you cannot change the situation.
If you were to say you've gone from PUS and you've gone to Cambridge, and fair enough, your vision might have been like that, and then it's expanded because a clever student, their vision isn't like that from the get-go.
Okay.
So you can't be like that and be anyway. So if it has broadened and they've learned a few things, and then they go back to Korea, they have connections, and you said they'll be quite respected, and they'll be they'll be up there in society, so they have more potential in possibly influencing others and changing mindsets. Oh my God, I'm on the screen. Can you not? Anyway, okay, and then the difference between a student that defects and doesn't defect is that a student that defects has no chance of changing anything because I think they're more evil because they've left their country and now they're enjoying it and loving it in London. And how are they possibly going to change anything by being outside of the country?
Anyway,
so
Right, so Japrit is so anyway, the point of this exercise is build the strongest counter argument, right?
You can't change something. You can change something about being in the country, but not out of the country. What you can say you can change by how? Because people are trying to change things. Like,
Anyway.
teach the people in your country. But that's not going to happen.
All right, wait, stop, take a break.
Because you're saying you can't change it when you're in the country, but you can change it from outside. No, I'm saying no. I can say you can only.
Okay. Anyway. Anyway, we're not here to say who's right, but just find and address the strongest counter argument. So the strongest counter argument would be that if I go back, then I can try to make the society better. And also too is that like people trusted me to come back. So, but if I do not come back, if I defect, what are the bad things that's going to happen in North Korea? Bad things might be like, yeah, well, obviously family and friends, and also, you know, the reputation of PUS will be destroyed. You know, the government will never send another PUS student to Cambridge again. You see, so it's gonna, and so I'm sure, like, I think even if I were like super like enlightened, I think I might weigh the pros and cons, and then, who's a super smart person? You look smart. Are you gonna defect or are you gonna go back? You look smart.
I think I will go back to North Korea.
Really? Let's take her picture. Send us That's not gonna do it. Okay, her. Just kidding. All right. So do you see? So make the strongest counter argument and then address it. Okay? That I want you to address that strong counter argument. Do you see? That even if I'm a moral, enlightened person, I will still choose to go back for these reasons. And then you can address the counter argument. That even after listening to the counter argument, I still argue he should stay. And then tell me why he should stay anyway, why he should defect. So after hearing all this, you think he should still defect? Okay, then explain. So in your essay, explain to me why. Okay? So after hearing all these things that, you know, if I go back, I can, you know, make the country better and also, you know, help my friends, family, and post-university, okay? Because all these people, they put trust in me, okay? And then if you still say that I should defect anyway, then explain why.
I think it's okay to say that you want to defect personally.
Okay.
That's okay, but then you can't list what's evil and bad. You can't say, oh, I personally, I think you said you defected to Jews. And that's cool, that's personal. You can say, oh, I want to, and you can say that I want to defect, but then you can't say, oh, because they chose to go back, that makes them evil.
Well, maybe the critique that we can make is that we don't really know that person's motivations, right? So all we know is that person got a full scholarship to Cambridge. He studied at Cambridge, he graduated from Cambridge, and then he came back home, okay? So we don't really know his motivations, but I'm just thinking that if I were in his shoes, and from what I know about PUS students, that I think, you know, he had many strong reasons for going back. Okay? And so you cannot just judge him as good or evil, but, you know, we don't really know, but we can say there are many, it's a complex situation. And I think maybe most of us, if we were in his shoes, I think most of us would probably go back. Because I think, you know, especially after watching that video, there are students said at PUS we're very what? We're very, what? We're proud, but also we're all very what? We're all like what? Family. Yeah, we're family. We're loyal to each other. You know, at PUS we're all brothers. Okay? And so brothers, right, and brothers never what? Brothers were never what? Yes, you never betray each other. You never abandon each other. Okay, maybe her brother, okay? No, just kidding. But the PUS brothers.
I'm pretty sure if I reflect on past when I was born in my life, and my brother would say, please go.
Anyway, wait. Anyway, actually, anyway, okay, but okay. Miss Chuha, can you come up? All right. Oh, the smart Korean. We have the nice Korean person who came back to Bukhan. Okay. Anyway, but actually, many people do agree with Sean, and that's why we have many in South. We have many defectors in South Korea. Okay? Because actually, many people do agree with Sean that, I still want to defect anyway. Okay. So we have thousands of defectors in South Korea, and they're doing well or not so well. Oh, okay. Well, I read her paper, and she said that many North Korean defectors in South Korea are not doing well, or they're having very hard time. Okay, and so North Korean defectors are called who? They're called right, Setomin. Okay, so yeah, tell us your story. So you have a brother?
Yes.
Did you abandon him?
I know.
Okay, good for you. And your brother has a what?
My girlfriend.
Yes,
Yeah.
girlfriend.
My brother's girlfriend is from North Korea, and he met her teaching her in the school
Okay.
of NGO.
Okay.
And anyway,
I hope he doesn't abandon her. Okay. Nice. You want true love, like Maleficent. Okay. Anyway, go on.
and there was a war between North Korea and South Korea, and it made Setomin people come to cross the border of North Korea and come to go to China or other countries, and eventually to South Korea. And I thought that there are lots of policies for government policies for the Setomin people, and also I'm now working with my friends about the Setomin people's employment support policies.
Okay.
And doing that, I thought there are some problems, and I found the first problem is the
Prejudice.
the prejudice to North Korea's people. For example, when they go to some company, the employers look at the Setomin people that they are not competitive, and at that time they don't select if they compete with the normal Korean people, and also if they go to some company, there's also the problem because there are some important when people go to company, there are some important jobs and not important works, and to the Setomin people, maybe employers will think they are not competitive and will not give the important jobs, and it will make their promotion hard, and it will be related to the income problem. Also, I thought that is the prejudice against Setomin people, and that's the problem. And also, Setomin people didn't get any important education and they maybe most of them have hardships going to the high school or even university, so they don't have the normal education that normal Koreans have.
That's funny. And these government policies, do you think they're making a difference or not really? Are they helping them?
I think they are not very helpful.
Okay.
And so when they get some jobs, government have some job training programs, but when I went to the homepage of Namguk Hana Foundation, which is the which is
I don't know what she's talking about. Okay, so you went to the center, right? And then the center said what? So you went to this foundation,
Yes.
right? And then it has all these like, internet. It's on the internet. It has all these policies, but I don't think it's a very helpful center because not that many people click on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the biggest center to help North Koreans, but not that many people are accessing the site. Okay. Now. Yes. How did your brother's girlfriend escape? 어떻게 왔어?
She escaped with her family, but she became alone and she crossed the border with
China.
her family and her friends, and because her sister was very sick, she crossed the border mistaking the sign of the mother and father and the sister, and she crossed the border with friends alone, and the family was
Separated.
and
And then
about 3 months before they found each other and came back to Korea, and yeah,
okay. Right, so China.
the girlfriend from China.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a major way. They they usually go through China first.
She went to, I heard that she went to Myanmar. She just walked Myanmar and China, and she lived in China about for 8 years
Okay.
alone with her friends. Yeah. Yeah.
So they have to go to a third. That's why they have to go like another third country like Myanmar.
Yeah, I heard. Yes.
She's saying, do you have to learn Chinese? Did she learn Chinese?
Yeah, she speaks Chinese better than Korean.
Okay. Okay. How old is she?
She's now 25.
We should have
17,
maybe we should have invited her as a guest speaker.
I didn't see her yet.
Okay.
Just hear from my brother.
Oh yeah, you see. Anyway, they can both come. I want to know what her looks like. Anyway, actually, like a lot of the bitterness of the North Korean refugees, I think a lot of it comes not just from the North Korean government, but also from their experience in China. Because there are a lot of human traffickers in China, and I hear they commit a lot of physical and sexual violence, and so they carry all that on, and then later when they come to South Korea, they blame everything bad that happened on North Korean government. So yes, North Korean government is bad, but a lot of the bad things that happened, it was because of what happened on the Chinese side, right? But anyway.
But one thing, and there's South Koreans are like legal.
Yeah, they get like, they're legal. Yeah, they get automatic like citizenship, right?
Yeah.
Right. But she's saying that government is spending a lot of money and policies to help them. 그런데 government, even when government does something, society might say no.
Yes.
Okay. And so government is saying, oh, businesses, companies should hire North Koreans. But a lot of companies are either they're not hiring North Koreans, or they give them like the worst jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even the jobs that government offer or recommend is like simple and technical jobs, no professional jobs.
Right,
because
okay.
They have not enough education.
And so Miss Lee's, okay, Miss Lee, okay. So and Miss Lee's saying it's a combination of kind of low skill, they don't speak English and Korean that well, plus prejudice, okay. So it's like a double whammy. And so actually, I read about this in other newspapers like The Economist. Many 탈북자, 세토민, they're actually pretending that they're actually pretending to be refugees and they go to Europe or North America. Did they go to Sweden yet? Yeah. Okay.
There's some mistakes in the bureaucracy things, like some said something wrong to someone, blah blah, with mails and stuff. So now they are like, no, but he's only lying. He's not from North Korea. He's from China, and they are gonna deport him back to North Korea. But that's the terrible part, because that was the problem. Because this Swedish, a lot of the Swedish media and stuff have called the. They have because they were listening to his language, and they were saying that this is not North Korean language. This is, I don't know, Chinese learning Korean. Yeah, but I think that was the problem. I'm not, maybe, yeah, but I think it was this, because this was a huge thing, like people, because there was something really wrong about that, because people thought he was lying, but then he's not, because, yeah. Sorry, I know, it was China, but when they give him to the Chinese governments, so they know that he's from North Korea. So basically, China, North Korea.
So that's a danger.
Yeah.
If he was really, I guess the debate is whether he's
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so the situation is complicated. Now, my critique for your essay was, again, blah, blah, blah. Interesting paper and topic. I loved your personal interviews. To improve paper, you need some links to real articles and books about refugees and migrants, such as when we talk about multiculturalism in class, right? Because you want to go beyond Wikipedia, go beyond newspapers. Okay, so a little bit more higher level source. So 예를 들면, okay, yeah, and also your claims to abstract. You're basically saying the system sucks. We need many ways to improve. Okay, so one way is that maybe you can discuss one specific step you can take. Use specific example. What are other countries, such as ask Emily? What are other countries, such as Sweden, doing to integrate refugees? Okay, what is the role of government? What is the role of civil society? Okay, and or another claim you can make is that, for example, we read multiculturalism from Young-Woo. He talked about how Korea is ethnically homogeneous, right? We have strong nationalism, pan-nationalism, right? But although we have strong pan-nationalism, we still have all this prejudice against Joseonjo, against North Koreans, Kabukja. Okay, so does that mean that Koreans are no longer nationalist? Do you say? So I'm just saying, make an interesting claim where you can link to the readings. Okay? So think about, anyway, so just revise the essay. Okay? So you can either discuss prejudice, okay, and link it to Dr. Han, or you can look at what other countries are doing and saying, if you really want to integrate, this is what we have to do. Okay? Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. All right. Did you like the push video? We're all brothers. 재밌었어? Yeah, it's kind of inspiring. Yes. I think Korean universities used to be like that. We had strong, inmet, but now I think it's kind of more individualist. What do you think? You have strong sisters at Hanya, or not really? Strong brothers. Okay, go ahead. You say you have strong brothers at Hanya?
They're okay brothers.
Okay.
Well, you just have to really hang out or really care about all your classmates.
Well, I'm just saying compared to plus.
Yeah, but I mean, back in the day, that was the common thing to do.
I think 옛날에는 was there strong strong spirit 인간관계 in the old days, 옛날에. Yeah, yeah, for like parents' generation, right? Right. I think parents' generation or grandparents' generation, there was really strong school spirit. Okay. And school was the strongest source of impact in the family and school. But but I think a lot of things changed, right? So what changed? How come you don't like her anymore? Oh no, I mean like, how come you're not blood sisters anymore? Like that puss. Okay, you don't live together, right?
We have different values, probably.
Okay. So now people have more choices, and people have a more wide variety of values. It's basically like modernity. Right? That means that people are more like university is a group of different kinds of individuals. Right? So it's not like puss. So I think maybe like if North Korea changes, they're gonna look back and say, "Oh, 그때는 we had strong unity."
Yeah.
But it's all changed. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so we read yeah. 그 평안 University에서. Oh really?
High school.
You thought that was a high school? Yeah, they're 멋있는 대학생들. You thought they were all like. Maybe they don't eat as much as you.
I'm fat.
No, because like if you look at pictures of Korean women like 30, 40 years ago, they're much smaller. They're very smaller and they're not very well developed. 가슴이 작아. Anyway, that's Korean. Their breast size is smaller, right? But now that Koreans eat a lot, they look like Miss Korea, right? Taller, bigger breasts, and right. So you're gonna learn about this when we read The Comfort Woman. Oh, in my other class, okay? Yeah. No, you're gonna see you're gonna see pictures of women back in the 40s and 30s and 40s, right? And when you look at the picture, you'll be shocked, like, wow, they're so small.
Wow. When did the Korean War was over?
The Korean War was over 1954.
1954.
Right. So, but Korea was poor for a long time. So like eating meat was considered a big deal. Okay.
We should get a class of like economic development.
Okay. Yeah, how Korea's developed economically. Okay. Anyway, anything else you want to share about NGO, North Korea, or 탈북자? 다른 생각이 없어요?
What is 탈북자?
탈북자 is another word for North Koreans, North Korean refugees. Nothing to add? Okay.
Maybe I need some inspiration from something. Maybe an argument.
Sure. Do you think that many Koreans have prejudice against 조선족 and 탈북자? You have prejudice? Okay.
Are you sure?
She's pure. Why do other people have prejudice?
My friend's mom owns kimbap 천국. You know, kimbap 천국.
Yes. The kimbap place where we always go to.
Okay.
Okay. And so she has to hire some people, like 아줌mas, for kitchen. And we have many 조선족 people, Seoul, they are cheap labor. But I heard she always wants to hire Korean first because they work harder.
More than Koreans work harder than who?
Chinese.
Chinese or 조선족 Chinese?
조선족 Chinese. They have to speak Korean, so 조선족. When they have time they are always yeah, on their smartphones, and they don't try to find like, okay, when it's free, it's not like free. When there are not many people in Kimbatong, then Korean people tend to find something to do. Maybe they clean more and they, yeah. But as what I heard, Chinese people are like, they don't want to work. They just want to have their free time.
Just gonna relax. Have a free time, personal time. Does your mom do K-pop too? Okay. So she doesn't have any fun stories.
No.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. So if you were K-pop 천국 아줌마, you hire Koreans or Joseonju? Korean. She's not pure. Wow.
Okay, maybe I interview them,
Okay.
and if I feel like these people are decent, they're gonna work hard, whether they are Korean or Chinese, and I'm gonna hire them.
Okay. That's fine. Maybe, do you want to share? Maybe you can share experience from your countries about, in like in Mexico or Netherlands, do you feel prejudice against anybody?
If I feel prejudiced,
Yeah, or your friends, do you feel prejudice against anybody?
not really. No, no, we don't really have that in the Netherlands.
You love everybody?
Basically, yeah. At least where my friends and I come from, we have. But you have like the smaller cities, like in the Netherlands, they're kind of prejudiced against foreigners.
Okay, against foreigners.
But some are really like not sugarcoating it and just like be very blunt about it. Yeah, and openly racist. But others like tend to sugarcoat it. And unfortunately, there are still a lot of spots where you have it. Like, for example, we have at this moment a discussion about Black Pete and Sinterklaas. It's like this has been a discussion for a couple of years now, for a very long time, because on every 5th of December we celebrate a holiday. It's called Sinterklaas.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa Claus. But this Sinterklaas, he's like a white man with a white beard, wears all red. He's on a white horse, and he has his helpers. They are like all black, and this has been like a racial discussion for a couple of years now, and it was it has such a big impact in the Netherlands that some areas, for example Amsterdam, they wanted to change the Black Pete character because
That's more like cultural symbolism.
yeah, but if you look at if you look at the discussion, like if you look at the arguments that the Dutch people have, like the white Dutch people have, they say like no, like if you don't like it, like go back to your own country, this and that. So it's just like they basically say like don't touch our tradition, but they don't want to acknowledge that the tradition what they have is actually wrong, because it's been proven by a lot of professors that the Black Pete character is actually based from a slave. So, but the Dutch people say no, it's not a slave. He became black because he fell down the chimney. That's how he got his black face. But you cannot explain why he had that color and a ring through his nose and frisky hair and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing. So this has been going on for a very long time in the Netherlands, and I still see, for example, on my Facebook, like people are like discussing about it, but then they bring up like racial stuff in the discussions. So that's what I mean. Like in the smaller cities, they are a bit more narrow-minded about it, like very one-dimensional. But if you go to the bigger cities, the prejudice is less. Let me put it like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's a little harder for because America and Netherlands have a long tradition of diversity. So, for example, right now, like we have a big football team called the Washington Redskins. Have you heard of a Redskin? You know what red means? Yeah. 빨간 피부. Okay. Right. Redskin. And redskin was an old word for Indians, Native Indians. Okay. And so 옛날에는 redskin 많이 말했는데 people use that term all the time. They called it the Washington Redskins. And the team is really old. They had the name for over 50 years. Okay. But now some Indians say the name is racist.
Oh, really?
Right. But white people, or football fans, they say, this is just part of tradition.
Exactly, but that's the thing. Like, it's the same with one of the arguments, for example, for that holiday what we have, they say like, yeah, it's just a child's holiday. Children don't know better. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. They don't know when and how to teach. Like, for example, it's actually basically one of the arguments is that children don't know they're young. But that's the thing. Like, as a parent, you have to start already at that age.
That's fine. But again, if you're going to make this into an essay, address the strongest counter argument. What's the strongest counter argument?
That it should stay, the holiday?
Yeah, that it should stay.
It's a tradition and
it's a tradition, and if you attack it, you're gonna make people more racist.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand? It's just because like I think you can. So the argument would be that most people are like they just like most people are just they just want to mind their own business.
Yeah.
They just want to live their own life. Yeah. But if you attack a tradition that is important to me, then you're gonna make me very angry against outsiders. Right.
That's what the professor also said. Professor in Amsterdam. He studied it for a very long time. Okay. And he also admitted his speech is a racist fest. But the foreign people, or like non-native Dutch people, just give the Dutch people some time to adjust to it because they need some, because it's so rooted deep in their culture that.
And also probably like most foreigners and refugees in the Netherlands, they probably don't care about the issue.
No, exactly.
Right, because I think most migrants, most refugees, they just want a good job, they just want to live a good life.
Well, that's also we also had a thing was like a small dessert. Outside it's like made out of chocolate. The inner side is made out of like white creamish stuff. So they call that dessert. In Dutch you say negerhoen. Translated to English, it's literally like Negro kiss.
Okay.
That's why they changed their name. So that's why I feel like a lot of stuff in the Netherlands, like there are a lot of positive stuff which I love, but there are also a lot of like stuff which I find very racist, and they just like somehow don't want to acknowledge it.
So it makes you uncomfortable.
Actually, it does, yeah.
But do you want to change the whole country, or do you just want to create like a community where you can be comfortable?
I don't think it's necessarily.
Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I understand your question. I don't think, for me, as someone who comes from Asia, I don't think for me I don't think it's respectful for me to change it because I come from Asia.
I understand. And so let's say the city is pretty cosmopolitan and you're happy in the city. Maybe the countryside is a little bit more conservative. Can you live with that, or do you want the countryside to change too?
I can live with it.
Okay.
You can. That's why I say you can always try to make a change, or always try to show people different perspectives and approaches, and it's their decision how they're gonna deal with it themselves. But at least if you feel a certain way that you should fight for it, which is the right thing, then you should do it. Yeah. And take a stand and make that example.
I want you to be more included because you're my sister. It's kind of a different issue now, but I guess we can link this by saying that 아무 나라에서 in any country, when you have more new people coming, then you're gonna have different values, different ideas, and the question is, how should the society change? 얼마나 바꿔야 되는지. So, 예를 들면 like Korea, right now we're getting many foreigners coming, and some of the foreigners are very liberal. They believe in like gay marriage, 동성연애, right? And so they want Korea to have gay marriage too. Do you see? And so the question is, how much should Korea change to how much should Korea change to adapt to the newcomers?